Take back control of your life. No one is coming to save you. I know. Let that sink in. No one is coming. Your life is 100% your responsibility. And that's great news. It means you hold the power. You hold the power to save your life. That's 100% your responsibility. Today, we're here to talk about how to take back control of your life and forge an unstoppable entrepreneurial mindset. If you've been Googling habits of successful people or entrepreneur mindset tips, stop for a second. The truth is, you already know the answer to those questions. You already know what you need to do. It's just time for you to do it. To just do it. So let's kick off with a hard truth that your life is your fault. Because remember, you are 100% responsible for you. So that might sound harsh, but stick with me. Sure, life throws curveballs you cannot control. Unfair parents, bad bosses, a freaking pandemic, toxic people that we spent our time with, but how you respond, that's on you. Successful people own their reality. They don't waste time playing the victim or waiting for rescue. They grab the steering wheel, they take extreme ownership of everything, the wins and the losses. Because when you take responsibility, you gain control. You can't change what happened to you, but you can damn well decide what you're gonna do next. So own your time, because it will own you if you don't. Step 1 to taking control is to master your time. We all get 24 hours in a day. It doesn't matter whether you're a billionaire, whether you're a broke student, whether you're a single parent, you and me. We all have 24 hours in a day, and we all get the same hours. Be honest. How much time do you waste every day on things that don't move you forward? Scrolling on Instagram, binge watching Netflix. The typical person spends almost 2.5 hours each day on social media. That's over 17 hours a week gone and wasted, chasing quick dopamine hits on a tiny screen. Meanwhile, you say you don't have time to hit the gym, you don't have time to read business books, or you don't have time to work on your side hustle. Come on, you have the time. You have the time, you're just choosing to spend it poorly. Successful people guard their time like their life depends on it, because it does. They invest time, they don't squander it. They replace mindless browsing with mindful learning. They turn commutes into mobile universities, earbuds pumping knowledge instead of just music. They schedule their priorities. Do you? Do you have a daily success routine that sets your day on fire? Or do you wake up every morning like an accident, reacting to whatever the world throws at you? Here's a clue. The habits of successful people start from the moment the alarm rings. In fact, interviews with top CEOs found they all got out of bed immediately. No snooze button, no 5 more minutes. Many of them are up at 5 a.m., hitting a quick workout and diving into important work while the world sleeps. They seize the day before the day sees them. This isn't because CEOs are superhuman, it's because they decided their goals are more important than a warm bed. That's how you can take back control of your life, by taking control of your morning, your schedule, your time. So cut the excuses. Cancel the pity party. Starting tomorrow? No. Starting today. Decide that you too will run your day instead of letting it run you. Create a morning routine that charges you up, whether it's a 6 a.m. run, meditation, planning your top goals, or all of the above, and stick to it like your life depends on it, because it does. So build an unshakable habits, because discipline is better than just motivation. Let's talk about habits. Motivation is fickle. It comes and it goes. When you're fired up, it's easy to hustle hard for a day or two, but what about day 50? How about day 500? Winners are built on discipline, not mood, and not motivation. They do what needs to be done, even when they don't feel like it. They have routines and habits that carry them through when motivation falters. If you want success on autopilot, you need to program that autopilot with relentless habits. And guess what? Habits don't form overnight. Science actually says that it takes about 66 days on average to form a new habit, not the 21 days like, where they used to say it only takes 21 days for you to build a habit. No, it takes around 2 months of consistent repetition. 66 days. That's the norm. I'm backed with science. Most people won't. That's why most people remain most people. But you're not most people, right? You're here, listening to this, hungry for change. So prove it. Pick one success habit, say, waking up at a set time, or writing 500 words a day for your business idea, or reading every night, and do it daily for 66 days. Make it non-negotiable. No 0 days. By day 67, congratulations. You won't need to find motivation to do it anymore. It'll be wired into you. Speaking of reading, how many books have you read this year? And how many hours have you mindlessly scrolled on your phone? Hear this. 88% of wealthy people read 30 minutes or more every day for self-education or self-improvement. 88%, that's right. They read about their industry, biographies of successful people, personal development, anything to grow. It's not for show, it's to get better. Meanwhile, only about 2% of those struggling financially bother to do the same. Think that's a coincidence? Nope. Leaders are readers. If you're not feeding your mind, you're staying stagnant, while the competition, they level up. And they will keep doing that. So build a reading habit. Build an exercise habit. Your body is your performance engine. Treat it well. Build a networking habit. More on that later. Build a habit of consistency. Discipline is a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. And the beautiful thing, discipline equals freedom. The more disciplined you are with your time, your health, your growth, the more freedom you earn. Financial freedom, career freedom, and the freedom of self-confidence, knowing you earned your success. So stop relying on willpower alone. Structure your life so that good choices are automatic. Willpower is for amateurs. Winners have routines. So ask yourself, what does your daily success routine look like? If it doesn't exist, design one. If it's weak, reinforce it. Every champion was once a beginner who trained their habits harder than others. Master your mindset. Grow. Master your growth and not your excuses. Success is an inside job. Mindset is everything. You can have all the talent or resources in the world, but if your mind is weak, you'll sabotage yourself. Conversely, a strong mind can compensate for a lack of resources. So fix your mindset fast. First, ditch the fixed mindset garbage. The idea that I am what I am, or I can't change my intelligence or talents, is a one-way ticket to mediocrity. Instead, cultivate a growth mindset, the belief that you can improve, that effort matters, that failure are just steps on the way to mastery. This isn't just feel-good talk. It's backed by research. Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck found that students who believe their abilities could be developed, this growth mindset we're talking about, outperformed those who believed their abilities were fixed. In other words, if you think you can change and grow, you actually will. You try harder, persist longer, learn from setbacks, and ultimately achieve more. Successful entrepreneurs live this. They are lifelong learners. They pivot when something isn't working. They soak up new skills, and they never say, I don't know how to do that, or as an excuse, they figure things out. Are you learning every day? Or do you spend your evenings complaining that life's not fair while doing nothing to change it? Harsh, I know, but I promise unapologetic truth. Upgrade your mindset. See these challenges as opportunities, see failures as feedback, see effort as the path to mastery. When something goes wrong, don't ask why me. Instead ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger? This simple shift in perspective turns every setback into a success story in progress. Part of mindset mastery is also controlling your input. Protect your mind from negativity or distractions. That means avoiding toxic people and naysayers like the plague. You know the ones, those who constantly complain, who mock your dreams, who discourage more than they encourage. They will poison your mindset if you let them. Remember this, we are only as successful as the people we spend our most time with. It's been observed that 86% of wealthy, successful people associate with other successful people, while 96% of those struggling financially stick with fellow strugglers. Ouch, I know. If your circle is full of pessimists or people with zero ambition, you have two choices: elevate them or separate from them. Surround yourself with winners, with learners, with fighters. Their mindset will rub off on you, just as your mindset will rub off on them. And if you can't find supportive people in your life, find them in books, in podcasts, and online communities. Immerse your brain in the attitudes of success. No fear, fail early, fail often, and fail forward. If you're aiming for big success in life or in business, let me spell this out. You will fail. Not once, but many times. And that's okay. In fact, it's necessary. The road to success is paved with face plants, detours, and do-overs. Every successful entrepreneur, every wise leader has an arsenal of failure stories. The difference is they didn't let failure stop them. They didn't quit. They learned, they adopted, and they kept going. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times inventing the light bulb, as the legend goes. Colonel Sanders got rejected 1,009 times pitching his chicken recipe in his 60s. You guys know Colonel Sanders, right? KFC. It's practically a cliche, but it's true. And he was in his 60s then. Look at him. Made KFC such a huge franchise. Each failure was really just one step closer to success. Are you afraid of failure? Afraid of looking stupid or risking it not working out? Here's a reality check. 1 in 4 entrepreneurs fails at least once before succeeding. Many fail multiple times, and on average, it takes 3 years for a new business to start supporting you financially. 3 years of grinding without a guarantee. You will want that entrepreneurial life. Yes, be ready to embrace failure as your teacher, not fear it as your enemy. Because the only real failure is never trying. Regret is far worse than failure. Don't take my word, research proves it. Over the long term, people's biggest regrets are not the things they did, but the things they didn't do. In the short run, screwing up feels painful, sure. But as life goes on, the pain of inaction, the what-ifs, the missed opportunities hurts way more. Do you really want to wake up at 80 and think, man, I really wish I had tried starting that business or chased that dream, but I was too scared? Hell no. I'd rather crash and burn a few times than sit safely on the sidelines and accomplish nothing. So punch fear in the face, feel the fear, and do it anyway. Start before you're ready. Speak up even if your voice shakes. Fail fast, learn faster. Each attempt, each rejection, each failure is progress in disguise. If you learn and keep going, it's like Thomas Edison said. When asked about his many failed prototypes, I didn't fail, I just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's the attitude you need. Treat every setback as data, not drama. Adjust your strategy and try again. Resilience is the hallmark of every champion. And guess what? With each failure conquered, your fear shrinks and your confidence grows. You start realizing that failure didn't kill you. It made you stronger. You become bolder, wiser, more unstoppable. Soon, what once scared you becomes your comfort zone and you're onto bigger challenges. That's growth. That's success. Hustle smart, work hard, work smart, and no excuses. Now we need to address the elephant in the room. Hard work? In the era of life and hacks and 4-hour work weeks, the idea of grinding has become uncool to some. But let's get real. Extraordinary success requires extraordinary effort. You can't cheat the grind. You can't Netflix and chill your way to building an empire. Hustle isn't a dirty word. It's the price of admission for the life you want. Now, hard work doesn't mean mindless work or burnt out without strategy. It means work smart and work hard together. Focus intensely on high-impact activities, working smart, and do a ton of those, working hard. Eliminate the trivial crap that doesn't matter, and pour your soul into the things that do. That side business you want to start, it's not going to build itself with 15 minutes of effort a week. Put in the hours. Make sacrifices. Grind now so you can rip what you saw later. Some advice from one of the most extreme entrepreneurs out there, Elon Musk. He famously said, you have to put in 80 to 100-hour weeks every week. Why? Because by working more hours than others, one can achieve in 4 months what it takes others in years to accomplish. It's simple math. More high-quality work equals faster progress. Now, Musk's approach is hardcore, and even he admits 100-hour weeks are brutal. And I'm not telling you to neglect sleep or family time to that extreme. But the principle stands. If you want to win, you must be willing to outwork the competition. While others put in 40 hours, you might put in 60. And those extra hours compounded over months and years push you miles ahead. The key is no excuses and no entitlement. Don't say the market is saturated or the algorithm is unfair or you don't have the experience. Find a way. Learn the skills, put in the work, and earn it. There's always someone out there with fewer advantages than you who is making it happen through pure hustle and persistence. Be that someone. And working hard isn't just clocking hours. It's also working on the hard things, the uncomfortable things, the cold calls you dread, the code you haven't learned, the conversations you're afraid to have. Do the hard things first. That is how you build a business and a life that actually means something. Most people default to easy. You're going to choose challenging because you know that comfortable is where dreams go to die. Vision and purpose, you know your why. All this talk of grinding and hustling, you might wonder, to what end? Here's another piece of the puzzle. Have a vision. Know why you're putting yourself through this. Have a goal so clear it pulls you out of bed in the morning with energy. Maybe you want financial freedom for your family. Maybe you want to revolutionize an industry or simply prove to yourself that you can achieve greatness. Clarity of purpose is fuel. When you know what you're working towards, discipline comes easier and sacrifices make sense. So don't just float through life hoping success will land on you. Set goals, not wishes. A wish is something like, I want to be rich or happy someday. It's vague, passive, and useless. A goal is specific, actionable, and has a deadline. For example, I will launch my online business by June 30th, or I will double my client base in 6 months. Every year, 70% of wealthy people pursue at least one major goal, whereas only 3% of those struggling do so. That's a gigantic difference. Goals give you direction. Without them, you wander aimlessly, and guess what? You end up wherever, likely nowhere good. So grab a notebook today and write down a few big goals. Don't worry about how you'll achieve them at this moment, just get them defined. Then break them into smaller milestones and daily actions. Remember that daily routine, that success routine that you need to build? Track your progress relentlessly. Make your goals a priority by working on them every single day in some form. When you set goals and actually work towards them, you also reclaim a sense of control over your life. You're no longer just reacting to things, you're creating your future. That's powerful. That's the entrepreneurial mindset at work. Being the architect of your destiny, not a tenant in your life. And here's another principle of a wise life. Patience. Big goals often take longer than you think. We live in an instant gratification world, but real success is usually a delayed gratification game. Be willing to play the long game. It might take years to realize your vision. So what? The time will pass anyway. You might as well spend it building something that matters to you. Level up your relationships. Your network equals your net worth. Success is not a solo sport. Yes, you must take personal responsibility and often walk a lonely path in terms of effort and vision, but nobody truly succeeds alone. Along the journey, you'll need mentors, allies, supporters, customers, fans, a network, and you build that by intentionally forming positive relationships. There's truth in the saying, your network is your net worth. If you haven't already, start networking and adding values to others. Help people without immediately expecting anything in return or something back. Be genuinely interested in others' success, not just your own. Paradoxically, this expands your own success. Also, consider mentors, people who are where you want to be. Learn from them, even from afar via books or interviews. You can compress decades of knowledge into days by absorbing the lessons of those who went before you. Also, take the time to give back and contribute. This might sound like it's all about others, but it shapes you too. For instance, studies of the wealthy found that almost 3/4 of successful people network or volunteer at least 5 hours a month, versus only 1 out of 10 of poorer folks. Why would volunteering or networking correlate with success? Because it puts you in proximity with other driven, positive people and it builds your reputation. When you volunteer or help your community, you often end up rubbing shoulders with other leaders and high achievers. You learn to communicate, to lead, to empathize. Plus, doing good in the world gives you a sense of purpose beyond just money. It builds character and a great reputation, which is priceless in business. And remember those toxic relationships we talked about cutting? Replace them with relationships that uplift you. Find people who believe in growth, who have ambition, who inspire you to be better. If you don't have friends like that, go make some. Join a class, an entrepreneurial group, an online forum of go-getters. The energy around you matters. If you're constantly around complainers, you'll become one. So if you're around winners, you'll push yourself to win. And here's the final truth. It's on you, so take actions now. We've covered a lot of principles here. Taking responsibility, mastering your time, building rock-solid habits, developing a growth mindset, kicking fear aside, working your butt off, setting goals, and cultivating great relationships. These are the kinds of wise life principles that create not just a successful business, but a successful life. And notice they all require action. Aggressive, consistent action. Knowledge is worthless without action. You can nod your head to everything I've said, feel a surge of inspiration, but if you do nothing with it, nothing will change. Harsh truth. Nobody cares about your potential or your promises. They care about what you actually do. So here's my challenge to you. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Even something small. Decide on one habit to start and literally start it today. Identify a one-time waster to cut out and reclaim that time for your goals. Write down that business idea and take the first step. Register the domain, call a potential customer, whatever. Just start moving. Momentum is magic. Once you get in motion, you can adjust your course, but you can't steer a parked car. Remember, no one is coming to save you, but the person you become by saving yourself will be your own damned hero. It's time to step up. Take back control of your life and go after what you want with every ounce of courage and grit you've got. Be bold, be relentless, be unapologetically you in pursuit of your vision. This is your life, your shot, right here, right now. So in this moment, you can choose to change and do so by taking action. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. So get up, trust yourself, and make it happen. Your future self is watching. Make them proud. Because remember, we can.